Heya and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So yesterday we had an update to the game and I did cover the most of it when we had the preview server update a few days ago. But they've finally gone and posted the patch notes, the update details. Yes, like a day late, unfortunately. I'm not sure why they've done it again. Now their highlights is that Dragonflight surprise bags will now always provide rough astral diamonds and the rewards have been slightly improved. And the Lair of the Mad Dragon has had several bug fixes and boss balance tweaks, pretty much making the last boss harder. Moving into the release notes, you can see that they fixed an issue where some of Misrael Everdark's minions could sometimes walk on the ceiling. This is the first boss. You might have seen, like, if you were running Suna, she would teleport to the ceiling for some reason and attack something there. And then in an effort to keep the Mad Dragon Charlifax from sustaining head injuries, the collision around the arena in his lair has been adjusted. That also prevents you from being able to bug him, allowing you to basically have him do nothing and then kill him without him performing any mechanics. You'll now have to play the fight as intended. However, the claw and bite attacks used by him have been adjusted to no longer slow down the phase transitions, so you'll see them come up a bit more often now, a few more mechanics, and they've slightly modified the phase transitions in all the modes. This ultimately makes the final boss fight a bit more challenging. Over the past few weeks, you probably found it the easiest one, and that was totally true. However, with these changes, you'll find it a bit more of a challenge. He has more hit points, he's going to have more phasing, you're going to see more mechanics, and especially now, once you get the boss to like 20%, he's going to start doing a mitigation check, where everybody takes unavoidable damage and receives a stack. And every time they get hit by this, they get another stack, increasing the damage they take. So at some point, you're all just going to start getting one shot and not going to be able to survive. This used to only be at 10%, which you were able to get past pretty easily with a decent group with, say, an artifact call. Now, you're going to struggle if your team doesn't have good damage. Again, particularly in Master, where the hit points have even been increased a bit. So this boss fight will be much more of a struggle, especially to those of you who are not actually practicing the mechanics by bugging him. And yeah, they have slightly increased his hit points in Master and Advanced, and then just improved the audio level of his voice lines, so he's a bit louder. Ultimately, I think it's a decent thing for Master to retain some difficulty. The boss fight was pretty trivial compared to others, at least if you knew how to position the boss properly and time your burst. Now there'll be a bit more to it. But we move on to Avernus. They just fixed a bug with the story instances like the fall. You were able to get that stuck and not be able to proceed. Then with the North Dark Reaches, just a certain update to drow powers. They should no longer cause nearby underbrush to wave wildly. And then, yes, the Cleric Arbiter adjustments. So Daunting Light, with its light speed feat, will now properly consume Radiant Judgment for extra damage. The tooltip's being corrected and it will now generate some action points. Searing Javelin will also generate action points even if you don't hit a target with it. And then Divine Equilibrium, a very nice bug fix, which will allow it to scale over 1,000 divinity, so it won't, say, reduce your damage when you are over 1,000 using certain features and gear to do so. But then the Dragonflight reward update. You may very well want to do this with your guild now. It has some decent value rewards, particularly for any newer player, and even if you just want some easy rough astral diamonds. The maximum amount of time for Dragonflight is 10 minutes, excluding, say, the prep. Ideally, your guild will have a schedule and they'll forewarn people when to group up, and then somebody will activate it spending the 2,500 guild marks, and then everybody can gain the benefits. Every day you will receive one quest from the guy in your stronghold, so yes, you will have to be a part of a guild. And the Traveling Wizard will allow you to pick up a quest that is specific to one of the 4 dragons, requiring you to kill it and giving you a surprise bag. Be aware, if you've never done Dragonflight, the first quest he'll give you will just be a gold quest which you'll have to complete, and after that he'll give you the repeatable ones. You can do this once per day per character, and then the other quest is completely repeatable, and it just gives you these strong boxes you can donate to your guild and some fangs. You can buy some items with it, like a weapon set, which is okay for supporting the team. But those surprise bags have been updated along with some of the gear they can give you. If you look at the tooltip, they claim to give rough astral diamonds, random dragon parts, level 20 Dragonflight gear, mounts, and companions. Now that Dragonflight gear you can find in your collections way down the bottom in the stronghold section, just on this first page. You should be able to get these rings. You can buy the purple ones now from a vendor if you wanted to fulfill the collections. Not much point to it, but there's that. And yeah, most of it's just stepping stone. You got some decent 2,500 item level rings that you can use as a newer player if you were to obtain these. But ultimately, the good thing now will be dropping always dragon parts and always like 20 to 25,000 rough astral diamonds. Meaning, yeah, you can use this to work towards getting some dragon slayer gear and to just get your daily 100,000 astral diamonds that you'll refine here. The Dragon Slayer campaign still has some of the best gear in the game with some very good bonuses on the mythic quality here. You just need to get these ridges and then these like certain dragon parts which you can get here, and then these elemental strands which you'll get throughout the zones just by killing enemies. And you will need to spend some astral diamonds, but it can be well worth it on some of these items which give you a load of stats. So it's some decent improvements. It's just, again, you are limited with that quest once per day and you're only getting like 2 ridges. I'd prefer this to give like 10 ridges at least, or remove the cap of once per day so that you can do it unlimited if you wanted to. But again, you can read here some of the rings were updated to have better stats and some item levels increased, and then these ones being added to the store which you can now buy just at this vendor. Dragonflight and accessories, all the purple rings are here. But yes, Dragonflight surprise bags will always give you a guaranteed amount of rough astral diamonds and dragon parts on top of other rewards, and the drop rates has been lowered for providing equipment, but increased the drop rates for currencies, consumables, mounts, and companions. So some decent improvements, but it's not such a big deal. I would still recommend trying to do Dragonflight, at least as a newer player. It's got some good things to obtain there, particularly the rough astral diamonds. It's a pretty easy way to do it, especially if you have multiple characters and a guild who will do multiple Dragonflights per day. Moving on though, they've just fixed with fashion the Starforged helm to properly display on female dragonborns. With wizard orbs, they fixed some of them so they have a better floating orientation. And then with these illusions, this is like a great fix so that when they mount up and dismount, they'll no longer disappear. Particularly the Divine Vorpal, the Holy Vorpal, even just the standard Vorpal and the Terror Illusion. Just checking that, we have the Divine Vorpal, we mount up, and then we dismount, and we still have the Divine Vorpal, woo! I just hope they make this one actually accessible, as I really like it. And then with the campaign screen on consoles, they just adjusted the boon and repeatable campaign task positioning to reduce overlap. And then with the water horse mount, they just reduced its brightness. And that is overall the entirety of the patch notes for yesterday's update. Again, most notably, the updates to the Lair of the Mad Dragon. The final boss fight going to be particularly more challenging, and Dragonflight will be a bit more rewarding. But I still think Dragonflight should provide more of the currency you need to actually get the gear, so it actually becomes more viable to do so, not just 2 ridges. It should give like 10 or something, and it should provide Dragon Hunter rank, because a lot of this gear you need certain ranks. Like the armor pieces, you need rank 100. You would have to have killed 100 dragons in order to actually purchase it, which means you're still required to say do ancient dragon hunts, where I think it should be viable to just do Dragonflight instead to give you that Dragon Hunter rank. But I guess they want to incentivize you to go and purchase, say, the campaign completion, because there is one for Dragon Slayer, and then you can even on top of that purchase these dragon parts separately these days. So I can see why they incentivize you to do that rather than giving you it all for free from Dragonflight. But I think we need that incentive as a guild to be able to help each other all together rather than just in Ancient Dragons. It's great fun to have like 10, 15, 20 people all together doing an activity rather than just like 5 here. So as it stands right now, I don't really see Dragonflight as being all too viable. You still have to do Dragon Slayer and kill ancient dragons if you want the Dragon Hunter rank, and you'll get all the dragon parts you need through that. So there's kind of no point doing Dragonflight for it. So again, my suggestion is make Dragonflight dragons provide you Dragon Hunter rank, and also increase the amount of parts and the amount of ridges you get, and just remove the once per day quest with the surprise bag. I think that only hurts it. The more we can spend doing a collective activity as a guild, the better. Basically, it's allowing us to do like ancient dragons as part of a whole guild rather than limited with just 5 people. And I think that would be a good thing rather than how it is and what they're kind of trying to do. I just don't think it really works. So right now, all it is Dragonflight's got a little bit of extra rough AD to earn, and that's really it. Like, I'm a bit disappointed, and I don't really think this update is really that worth it for Dragonflight. It needs more, I believe. But once again, that's the update. Thanks for watching, and good luck with the Lair the Mad Dragon. A special thank you to all these channel members for your extra support, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.